This time the Quick Speed Shop, check it out. I got my Model A hot rod shop truck in the shop. Got to do some engine work. I'm going to put some Kilmat in the interior, get rid of all the rattles and bangs. It was nothing but sheet metal and it was like riding in a tin can. Going to figure that out, make that better. Going to talk about fixing the rear end. I need some highway gears. This thing's a screamer. So I found my extra pumpkin. I don't know if we're going to have time to do that, but we're definitely going to work on the engine and put some Kilmat in it. So if you want to see the Model A hot rod shop truck, stay tuned. Here we go. Why is the hot rod shop truck in here? We were doing Chevys and vans and Dodges, but now we're into hot rods again? I can't even keep track. Where's my vision board? It's like a kid threw up on it. Everything's everywhere. Anyways, got to do a little summertime maintenance here on the old hot rod shop truck. If you want to go back a couple of years, I just completely rebuilt this. Backstory, real fast, if you're new to the channel. 1929 Ford Model A truck, chopped, channeled, and sectioned. Kind of like a flat black beater shop truck with a 34 grill shell, 29 cab, fenders, box, 283 Chevy, 4-speed. And I just got a couple things I want to change. One of them is I've got a little bit of engine noise. And I'll say it's been clattering probably the last, 8, 9, 10,000 miles-ish. On one of the rocker arms seems like it's a little loose. And I just ignored it, but that's probably not the best plan. So I want to pull the valve covers off. Ooh, can I get that off under the... I think I can. There's one on this side, and I can hear it in exhaust. Like, just sounds a little bit different on this side than the other side. So this has just got a flat tappet camshaft in it. It's actually a used stock 350 cam in the 283 that I put in. This engine is an old free 283 that I just put a timing chain and stuff in it. And I had the heads rebuilt, but no rings or nothing, no bearings, and it's got some blow-by, but it runs good. It's a runner, but we got just a little bit of valve trim, just pop, 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 just a little bit. So I want to pull the valve cover off, take a look and see if there's any rocker arms or just a couple thousandths loose. I also noticed I had header leaks that could be part of my problem. I put stainless steel Allen bolts in here, and they loosen up a lot, so I had the Allen here. I was cranking them down and working on that. Started that off camera. One of the other things I want to do, I had to go on a 2-day scavenger hunt. You ever have so much stuff that you know you got it, but you can't remember where it is? I was looking and looking and looking. But I needed that right there. Bam! Where is it? Right there. See it? This truck, when I redid it, I put an 8-inch Ford rear end in it out of a Maverick. And I put a 350 limited slip rear end in it. Originally, I had this truck. I had 273 gears in it with an AMC 15 rear end, with a twin grip, and coupled with a T4 4-speed of an AMC Spirit. I was big into AMC parts back in the day. I built this truck in 2006, so it's 18 years ago I built it. Holy shamoly! Anyways, and I had 273 gears. The T4 is a 4-cylinder T4, so it's got a 403 first gear, which is kind of like granny-ish, but it works really good with the highway gears. And then when I redid it and I swapped in the 8-inch Ford rear end, I put a 350 gear in it with a limited slip. And it picked up the RPM a whole bunch on the highway, obviously. It made my first gear essentially useless. I shift gears halfway through the intersection. But the worst thing it did is it made it have some more hot roddy feel. But the worst thing it did is made the speedometer way off, which you can fix with gears, but it also cut my fuel mileage down from 20 miles a gallon, which this truck used to get regularly, to 15 miles a gallon. So what's that? 25% fuel decrease. And I run 99 ethanol gas in all my old cars, and at like almost $5 a gallon, when you lose 25% of your fuel economy, it hurts you in the wallet. So I knew that I had another one of these kicking around, center section for 8-inch Ford. I just didn't know where it was. Finally, I found it in my pole barn on the shelf buried behind other junk. But this one is $279, and it's open. So I want to pull the axle shafts out, jack it up, pull the axle shafts out, pull the pumpkin out. It's unfortunate I got to lose the limited slip differential, because this one I'm going to put in is open, but I haven't really done any burnouts or like monkeying around with the truck. Originally, when I built it, I was doing burnouts at my buddy's hot rod party and stuff like that, and I kind of got out of that. It's still got a line lock in it, but the tires are grippier now and stuff, and it's really rough on it. It skids the front tires because they're not big enough to really grip the road, and so it kind of flat spots the front tires, and it's really rough on the light duty transmission, do burnouts and beat on it. So kind of out of the phase, just kind of using it for a cruiser now. So putting in an open diff's not going to be a big deal. So I don't know if we'll get into changing the rear end gears in this video. Maybe I'll pull that out as a separate video because that seems like it could be a tutorial video, and they always do really good tutorials. So maybe I'll just monkey around with the valve train. And also I want to put some Kilmat in this thing because I built this. It's all just sheet metal and it's all bare. These are single panel doors with cardboard-ish door panels, and the roof is one layer of metal. Ooh, and it's picked up a rattle. How do we get a rattle? So I built this roof. It's actually a 57 Chevy hood. If you can see the things here, my dad did the same thing on his truck, so I copied it. But I glued and RTV'd and this hood sheet metal in here to the roof. But as you can see, it's got quite the rattle now. And the truck is loud enough you don't really notice it, but now that I've got the Kilmat technology, I'm going to Kilmat the whole inside of this thing. Like here, this is all tinny. We're going to take care of that in 2 seconds with Kilmat. So we'll take the door panels off and we'll get the Kilmat out. Maybe we'll do that first here. We'll start off with that. We'll Kilmat the whole interior. And I've got these louvers in the back window area. Originally, when I built this truck, it was listen how loud the door is here before we get too carried away. See how loud it is? We'll take care of that. Originally, I built this truck here under this line. The body used to end here, and I had a lift-off top. And this louvers, this is like 24 gauge sheet metal because I wanted it to be really light. Well, it's also real flexible, so I punched some louvers in it. And my dad, you try to stiffen it up a little bit. Well, if you drive in the rain, obviously if you got holes punched in your roof, it tends to leak. And when this thing was fenderless, I just put the fenders back on, but when it was fenderless, it would throw the rain into here and it would soak you in the cab if you got stuck in the rain. And there's no windows, and so nope. So I like the look of the louvers, but I don't really need them. So we're going to Kilmat over those, so they'll look like this on the outside, but they won't be functional anymore. Now, hold on a minute here. I got all distracted. I forgot we were tightening the headers first. If I don't do it right now, I'll forget, and we'll just have one side be tight. But now I've lost the Allen wrench. Where did that go? I was pointing with it. You guys saw me pointing with it, but then I have displaced it somewhere. Where is it? All right, located the Allen wrenches over by the differential. So these guys are stainless Allen heads, like I said, and we just go and give them a... Oop, that was loose. That guy was loose. So a little bit of my noise might have been header bolt. It's being loose, but I know there's valve train noise on that passenger side. What we'll do is we'll pull that valve cover off because I don't think I can get this one off now that I'm looking at it with the master cylinder on the truck. But I know that the valve train clatter was on the passenger side, so luckily should be able to get that valve cover off. Everything is super tight on this truck. Yeah, this is the beauty of stainless steel hardware. Ooh, this one's like finger tight. Holy cow. I had paper gaskets here and they blew out on this thing real fast because the bolts would loosen up and paper header gaskets suck. So I went to these really thick, like sandwiched sheet metal-y ones that are like 5 or 6 levels thick. But you do need to keep the bolts tight. One thing that sucks is stainless steel bolts tend to loosen up on everything. Oh my god, the back bolt, let me show you. The back bolt here, look, the washer, you can spin it. It's backed off. Oh my god, it's backed way out. Oop, did you see it? I might have missed it there. It's backed way out. See how loose the washer is? Holy shamoly. That's like 2 turns loose. Yikes. See, these gaskets are stacked up. So, do we have a leak there? I can't tell because the engine's so grungy, but it definitely was starting to leak, going to leak on this rear cylinder. So now, we'll tighten her up. Maybe every year or every season I'll have to do this to make sure that we're good. Boom. All right. Got those guys retorqued in there. Here's the line lock I was talking about on the brakes. Right here, you apply the front brakes, and then you hold the front brakes and hit the switch, and it locks in the pressure to the front brakes. But these front tires, they're 155/80. I think they're 155/80 R15. And as you can see, the track width is super narrow on them, super small. They just don't have enough grip to hold the road with the line lock on, and they just skid down the road and flat spot them. And they're not cheap. So I got big old rubber on the back, 235/75/15s, and got quite the rubber rake, but it just slips these front tires. You know, if you rev it up and drop the clutch, you can get them to burn, but that's really hard on my antique light-duty drivetrain, especially a transmission. You 4-cylinder T4, you beat on it like that, you're going to break it. So fortunately, it's held up to 20,000 miles of beating on it, with however many miles of beating on it had before that, but I got to take it easy with it. So got my door skin off here. It's a couple, or interior door, what do you call it? Door panel off. It's a couple days later, and you can see how I built these doors for this truck. I built these doors from scratch. There are reproduction door skins, but I made the inner structure here, which is basically just 1/8" flat stock. I sawed out with a on a bandsaw, or I must have used a Sawzall because I wouldn't have had any way. I know I cut them at home, and then a couple of pieces of tubing welded across, basically like a stock car door. You know, so we got some crash bar action in here, and then I made the top. This is all actually angle iron and some steel here, but so the door is pretty roll cagey, race car-y, but it is also very loud and tinny. So the Kilmat just happens to fit right into the panel pretty good. I already test fit one piece, so we're just going to take this guy, and lay it up in here. Boom, like that. And we'll just roll her on in. Like that. And I think another piece will fit right up here. Oh yeah. Let's this doesn't have to be real precise, but we're gonna do most of the door just because we can. Where is right about there? I need my scissors. If you guys saw the last video where I put the Jeep M38A1, had some tire kickers, had a couple guys come out for like 2.5 hours to look at it and talk about cars. Still no takers, still for sale on the Face Space Marketplace, but hopefully it will sell sooner rather than later. After we get this truck done, I think it is time to pull in the C10 and start blowing it apart for actual work, getting the frame. Actually, I want to fix the cab braces first, then get the cab off and send the frame away while I'm at Hot Rod Power Tour. I want to have that at the sandblaster getting blasted while I'm away, and so then when I get back, maybe it will be ready to Go. Look at that, Kilmat action. Back in the day, all they had was Dynamat. Those guys came out with Dynamat, and it's horrendously expensive. This Kilmat is a little more, it's the same idea. It's made in Russia, of all places, I believe. And you can buy it on Amazon. It's just a little more price friendly, and it works good. Let's take a listen. Oh yeah, it's already quieted the door way up and made it more solid. Sounds great, but I want to, might as well do the whole thing. Now this side, we got the door handle to contest with, so I gotta trim it around that right here down to the bottom of the eye, and then about 2 inches out. We'll just take a little nip out here. I mean, you don't have to cover every square inch. This stuff really gets in there and does the job. So I'm just being overzealous because it's easier just to put the full sheet in. Is it gonna fit? That's gonna be a trick to try to do that. That's too tight. I'm just gonna shave a little off the top. Kind of want to save all your leave-ins here, especially if you got long ones or shapes, because they come in handy other places for filling up little holes and all that. So I tend to save the remnants, and then use them. Oops, wrinkled that up. There we go. That fits in there better. I did wipe the dust out of the inside of the door. These doors are a little dusty. I wiped the dust out before we got carried away. Now here's the hard part, trying to slide it in behind something, because it's sticky. I want to stick. It's like, I want to stick right where I'm at. Like, no, you need to get in there. There we go. There we go. Like I said, this is just down and dirty. I'm not going for show quality here because we're behind the door panel. Just going for sound deadening. That is awesome. Let's move the door panel and shut the door. Ooh. Man, that's solid. You hear that? That's with. The latch is still metal on metal here, the door bear claw latch, and there's absolutely no door seals in this, so actually there is a door seal. I got a little piece of foam there. Oh, it's old, it's mushed. So it's kind of metal on metal when I close it, but this stuff's amazing. So I'm gonna do the other door, and then we're gonna get in the cab. We're gonna do the roof. Hear that rattle? I showed you before. We're gonna take that right out of it. We're gonna do these panels. I'm gonna flop the seat down. We're gonna do some behind the cab. Probably gonna do these kick panels. They're accessible on the inside there, or actually, well, part of the cab. But the inside would have a kick panel, which it doesn't. So we'll do those. We'll do around behind, like I said, where the louvers are. We'll do here. I got enough. I got a whole box of Kilmat. We'll do the whole cab and quiet the sucker right down. It's just like a Lamborghini. Sweet! It's the next day. It's the weekend now, and we're gonna do the roof. Both doors are back together, and listen. She's a rattling son of a gun. I put a little RTV and some electrical tape when I put the skin on here. But I used RTV to Try to go across my rods here. I welded up. But as you can see, that's super rattly. So what we're going to do is stick the Kilmat right to the hood here. Then I'm going to cut little strips and I'm going to wrap over and try to seal these rods in after I do the Dynamat sticking on. And it'll at least take all that out, because going down the road sometimes you'll hit a certain bump and you'll hear it'll get a vibration and do that. So we're going to do that. The doors are good. I did the front kick panels off camera, I think. I can't remember. I was going to show you something outside, but a thunderstorm's coming through. And I also wanted to mow the lawn because it's high, but it's raining. So we're back to Kilmat. It's awful tight trying to work in this car and shoot video out there, this truck, and shoot video. I'll tell you what, awful tight. So, let's see. How's this going to work? I guess I'll start in the middle. I'll probably trim it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim these panels to fit inside my, inside the rods. Just kind of eyeball it. And then we'll use maybe the strips I cut off I can use to seal up the gaps. So like I said, I want to pull the blue and white camper special in here, do a couple things on that. Then Power Tour is coming up, and I want to get that Chevy C10 stripped out and get the frame at the sandblaster while I'm at Power Tour. That's my plan, so hopefully that'll work out. So you probably see me roll this stuff out as much as you need to see it, so let me go ahead and stick all this up on here, and then we'll take a look and we'll do a rattle test, and then we're going to Kilmat over the louvers in the back and around the back window, and I think we'll call it good. All right, bam, I got the roof all done, and like I said, I would do those little flap over. I just cut little strips out of the extra, and I stuck them over the ribs there. These ribs got the hole for the bullet on the roof, so it's not going to do those, but look at that. You remember the that metallic rattle sound I had before? It was really annoying. Let's check it out now. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. It's gone. Tell you what, Kilmat is amazing. Amazon.com. You can get it in different sizes. I want to say a box of 54 square feet is like 36 bucks. Or 36 square feet is 54 bucks. That's what it is, like $2 a square foot. So worth it. Amazing. And I did hear these little kit panels. This is all 24 gauge sheet metal, like I said earlier, I think. So it's really tinny and really flexible. So here, these were really kind of warped and tinny here, but now stiffened them up and took all that tin out of there. So the next plan here is to do the panels over the louvers here. Gonna over there. I think one sheet will fit over there. Then gonna do some around the rear window, which used to be a Chevy van rear door upside down and then shortened to make this rear window. I use that off an 80s Chevy van. Well, I'm gonna wipe the dust prints off there, and that's we're gonna the back of that. The seat folds down. This is a Suzuki Samurai rear seat. If you're questioning what seat's small enough to fit in a chopped and channel Model A truck, Suzuki Samurai rear seat from like the early 90s. But this guy, I think there we go, pull them knobs and it flips around. What's all this junk? Plastic bags? Well, we got a whole bunch of plastic bags in here. Oh, I know why. Because I put one over the door when it's out in the rain. How many do I need though? That one's all ripped up. What's this? That's a big one. We'll get rid of that one. Don't need that one. Anyways, I like how there's still body filler dust in it when I worked on the body work like multiple years ago now. And I used to have seatbelts tied to this piece of steel there. I had like 5-point belts, but they didn't fit right. They suck, so I put these shoulder belts are out of a Dodge van. But that's 16 gauge steel there. That big panel across the back is one big piece, but that's tinny. We'll do that too. I have one of them technology failures. I wanted to do a time lapse of rolling all this on because I thought it would be interesting and only be a couple seconds in time lapse form, but I forgot to push the button, so you missed it. But anyways, all this is quieted down. I did behind the seat, that 16 gauge, that's all good to go there. I did in the quarter panels, or cab corners, I guess you'd call them. Did those. Oops. The seat back there, boom. Behind the louvers there, won't have them leaking on me anymore. It'll quiet it right up. The roof is quiet. This cab should be a ton quieter, like rattle and nonsense-wise. And I'm thankful for that because it was awful tinny and rattly before. So, Kilmat saves the day. Man, this made this a lot better. Ready? It's got a nice solid feel. That used to be really tinny and nasty. Now it kind of sounds like a car. Nice. So I'm really happy with that. That's going to make a big difference. This thing was a rattle box. It's only been like 17 years since I put it together dealing with rattles when I could have just Kilmatted. Well, I guess Kilmat probably didn't exist 17 years ago. But that's a lot better now. If you saw the other video where I went to Cleveland with a Studebaker, Kilmatted all that, and that made a big difference. The brown Dodge out in the driveway, Kilmatted the roof and the doors and everything in that, big difference. So, quieted up the Model A. I forgot all about the valve cover. We were going to pull that off, then we got distracted. There we go. A little tap of the old persuader. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice. Ooh. Corky. Ooh, that guy's a little loose. That guy's definitely loose. That would definitely make some racket. Just got a regular hydraulic flat tappet cam shaft. It's actually a used cam that I got put in this 20-something thousand miles ago. So hopefully it's not going away. But we'll take some lash. We'll put some action back into her. I'm not being very precise here. I just want to see what we got. Make sure any of the other ones aren't really loose, too. All right. These are Kel Custom style valve covers. I believe the one on the driver's side is the actual Kel Custom. This one says made in Japan, so this is I think this is a knockoff on this side. So I think the Kel Custom ones are made in America, but I could be wrong. So that should take care of that. And that's it for now. Like I said, I'm going to do a separate video on this rear end. I've run out of time. I want to get my blue and white Ford in here. I want to do some welding on the box, get that straightened out. I put that primer on there in 2013. only 11 years ago. And I bought some paint for it, and I've realized that this box is junk and needs another box. Well, let me walk you out here. I'll explain, but we'll start another video in a second. As you can see in the wheel well, see all the daylight? This box is hammered. It had a fifth wheel in it and a gooseneck. It's got huge holes in it, all rotted out here. The back of the box is the whole thing is flexi-fly. The wheel tubs are rotted out. The front of the box is rotted out. I had put patches in it. You can see the weld seam here under the trim. This big patch on this side. They're cheap patches. They don't have a real good defined body line like on the front. And this side, same thing. I put a patch in. This side, the seam must be lower because I didn't put it up in there. But anyways, I had bought, Bahama Blue and Wimbledon White to repaint this. I think I'm just going to scuff it and shoot it. But honestly, at this point, what I'm going to do is look for another box to either put new box sides on or something. This box is so rough, it's not worth it. So I'm tired of the primer it's been on here. It's epoxy primer. It's been on it for 11 years. But we'll scuff it, shoot it. I'm sure it's not going to match the paint anywhere near. This is years and years and years of faded blue and white. But guess what? Some blue and white will probably be better than blue and white and chips and rust and primer. And I have the racetrack trim. I can put the racetrack trim back on it. Just try to make it look a little more presentable, I guess. I mean, the paint's going to go probably bad if I wait forever. So I don't know if we'll get it painted in the next video, but we're definitely going to weld up the box. And the rear gas tank is also leaking. It's rotted out. I'm going to take that out. I've only been running on the front tank for all these years just because the rear tank was rotted. So that's it. The old Model A Hot Rod Shop Truck's got another 20,000 miles left to go in it. Awesome. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time working on that blue truck here at the Quick Speed Shop.